Hello everyone, welcome back to the Wolf Pack. Now, do you know why this community is called the Wolf Pack? It's because we all grow together, we learn together. That is why we all travel in a pack, in a group together, because we are all here to help each other out. And this is one of those videos in the ever-going series on my channel where I provide some tips and hints and tricks at the trade being board game content creation. So with today's video, I wanted to put in my 2 cents about how you can increase your chances with working with board game publishers. And there are going to be 5 tips that I have specifically in mind. The first one is to have a specific offer in mind. There have been so many instances where I see just a general, hey, I would love to team up. Hey, I would love to collaborate. Hey, I would love to do something with you. And that is probably one of the biggest pitfalls in not being able to work with the publisher that you want to work with. The reason why is because what does that mean? What does it mean to collaborate? That has so many different meanings, and everyone creates all different types of media. People stream, people make YouTube videos like this, people make commercials, people take photos. There are just so many types of, quote, collaborations. So when you say a collaboration and the publisher on top of that doesn't know who you are, that is just you paving your way towards an unintended road. And that's not where I want you to go. I want you to go towards your intended target, which is being able to work with that publisher. So when I say you should have a specific offer in mind, it means if you want to make a gameplay video about a specific game that's coming out on Kickstarter, then mention that. I want to make a 30-minute gameplay, 2 players, about your game coming out on Kickstarter in 2 months. When you have a targeted plan like that, I guarantee you it really increases the chances that you're going to be able to work something out together, because it shows that A, you've already came up with a plan. People love organization and plans. B, it also shows that you have a targeted intended value and that you are matching properly with the publisher that you're wanting to work with. Because then, like, imagine if you only use strategy games and then you're reaching out to a party game publisher and say that you want to collab. That makes 0 sense, right? You want to have a clear, concise plan from the very beginning. That way it shows that you're organized and that you're committed to the work and that you've already done your homework in studying if whether or not you are a good match with them. How about this? Let's put myself on the chopping block here. Let's say there's a game I've been eyeing on crowdfunding that is coming out in a few months, and I really want to work with that publisher to put together some content. First thing I'll do is I'll read through like the rulebook. If they have some form of rules, usually every publisher will always have some mechanics, some theme, something that they're highlighting. And whatever that is, I try to find if I've done content similar to that. So let's say gameplay, right? Gameplay is something I'm pushing a lot this year, and it's something that I want to do a lot more often too. So let's say there's a game coming out in June, and I really want to do a 2v2 gameplay for it. Reason why is because I want to highlight how interactive these mechanics are with 2 players, and I want to have a cast of diverse models and have all these photos lined up too alongside that gameplay. That's the type of pitch that I would make if I were the one reaching out to publishers. And the reason why it's so important to have a specific plan is because it shows that you're organized, it shows that you're committed, it shows that you've invested time to really put in the work and understand where they're coming from for the game, what their target is, what their overall mission is, and why you are filling in a gap that they don't currently have. Number 2, your videos are your brand. Now, a lot of you have actually mentioned this already on my previous videos, saying that you kind of pointed out for me, right? Saying that Tim's videos on YouTube is pretty much his brand, like it has a dual function. It functions as entertainment and just, content for YouTube that you all have seemed to enjoy. And the second function is that it's also my portfolio too. And it's exactly that. It was never intended to be that. It kind of just became that. I just, originally put out videos just like everybody else with 0 intention. But yeah, if I'm being totally transparent here, of course, like I feel like that's for every content creator online. Your videos are a representation of who you are, what your brand is capable of, and what you can do. And I feel like that is just a commonality that we all share. So that's why I really wanted to point that out for number 2, is that the types of videos that you make should be able to be marketable if that's what you want. If you reach out to publishers is the thing that you want, then the videos that you make should be able to be projected onto the types of videos that publishers are commissioning you for. And that's why, and again, I'm not discouraging anyone from making whatever you want. Make whatever you want, okay? But if you're watching this video, then you're interested in working with publishers. So there's my disclaimer for that. But that's why if you make nothing except top 10 lists, sure, you'll get a lot of eyes on it. But again, how can a publisher commission you for that? Like, hey, put my game on top 10 list. I'll pay you for it. Like that's weird, right? And that's also unethical and strange. So that's why you really want to think about the types of videos that you make too. Yes, of course, throw in top 10s, throw in all these kinds of videos that are fun for you to make. Like, please do that. But again, if you want to work with publishers, then you need to come up with a game plan and figure out what can be commissioned and what is for fun. Okay, number 3 is pretty related to my first point. And number 3 is have examples lined up. If you cannot show what you can already do now, how can a publisher trust you with money, paid content? How can they trust you with paid content for something that you haven't done yet? There have been instances for me that I've been able to do that, but it's also because I'm able to translate these skills over to new ideas. And some publishers like that. They like having just brand new types of content, and that's totally fine. But when you have, or when you're starting out and when you're trying to build a portfolio and when you're trying to reach out to publishers to work with them, then you really need to have examples of what you can do already. If you want to do gameplays, then you need to have really polished gameplays. And it doesn't mean like you have to have fancy cameras and overhead rigs and all this crazy stuff. It means that you need to know the game well. It means that the games you've already done videos on need to be related to the type of video, the type of games that publishers are looking to commission. So if you're doing campaign games like Chuon and Bloodborne and all these crazy campaign games, then you should probably reach out to campaign-driven publishers as well. And guess what? That further backs you up, because when you say, hey, I want to make this 2-player co-op gameplay of your new cooperative experience coming out, here are 4 videos that I've done that are exactly co-ops to show what I'm trying to do for you. And on top of that, it also sets up expectations as well, because when you set up expectations from the very beginning, you decrease the chances of a failed commission towards the end. So always set up expectations and show them this is what I can do, and the result is going to look just like this, if not better. And speaking of the last line, if not better, number 4 is refine your content. This is something that we can do every day, something you can do with every single video. I always talk about including one brand new technique in all your videos. Again, it doesn't have to be like a brand new set of gear. It doesn't have to be a brand new camera, new lens, new light. It doesn't have to be any of that. It just has to be one new editing technique or filming technique. Just try one new angle for that day. Try doing some B-roll of just holding these cards in your hand and really emphasizing all the card text. The more you add to your techniques on a daily basis, guess what? The faster you're gonna grow. I did that all the time when I first started. I still do it now. Every time I'm filming a brand new video, I'm always adding something new. You should always do that in the meantime, because I know a lot of people get discouraged when they reach out to publishers and they don't always get a response back, and they reach out to many publishers and there's just emptiness, right? But in that emptiness, this is the best time to refine our craft. And guess what? When we do get a yes from a publisher, that is just going to be the more satisfying feeling. And we're also going to be able to deliver an even better product than when we first started on this campaign of trying to reach out to publishers. So always refine your content. Okay, number 5, the last one I wanted to leave with you today, and that is push for something that hasn't been done before. I know it's been said, and I also know that it's a lot easier said than done. However, there are different minuscule, tiny micro adjustments that we can make to push for something that hasn't been done. Like maybe you put your camera on the shelf and you're pulling a box out with the camera alongside it, so you get a new point of view perspective there. Maybe you can have like a 3-person roundtable where one person is talking about how much their experiences were in solo, and another person is talking about their gameplay experiences at 3 to 5 player count. Another person is talking about a game or the game itself, and they don't like the game at all. I don't know. There's just so many different ways that you can expand this barrier that we put on ourselves, because I really think that there is so much creativity like still left to be used. There is just so many ways to expand our content and really push our boundaries, our creative limits, because again, at the end of the day, we're all content creators. Our mission here is to create new content. And so that's why I think for board game content creation, we really kind of lose sight of that a little bit when we stick a tripod here and just talk about games, which is totally fine, because at the end of the day, it is about games, but you're also a content creator. And I definitely don't think that you should neglect that side as well, because creating is a whole part of the process as well. And that is my take on 5 ways you can increase your chances of working with publishers. The last one is, again, something that you can use to refine your content from number 4. I know it is tough to reach out to all these publishers and get nothing but no's. Trust me, I totally know the feeling, but you're going to take that time now to refine your content, to make everything that you do better. That way, when you do get a yes, the one yes that you need to move yourself forward, that yes is going to be so worth it. It's going to be someone that aligns with all your values. It's going to be someone that appreciates and respects your work. And it's going to be someone that's going to be really fun to work with. So that's my spiel for today. And I hope that helped you all in some way. If it did, I'm glad. And I'm super excited for all of you and to see where all of you take your channels this year in 2023. So with that, thank you all so much for watching, for hanging out. And I will see you all in the next one. Also, if you made it to the end, I thought about this. If you made it to the end, then comment game time if you are ready to push your channel 10,000 steps forward this year, like I am. So I'll see you all in the next one.